In the top stories, Federal Youth Policy Initiative launched. The Red Cross Society appeals for donations to assist Haiti. And St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service observes World Post Day with a week of activities. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Hey, what you doing? The time passing. Next thing you know, it's a Christmas Eve and there's hustle and bustle and fretting. Every year can't be the same thing. At Courts, everything waiting. The best deals, the best prices. Christmas this year give you niceness. Come to Courts, you're invited. Let's go! Down to Courts, you know we've got the best in show. To be satisfied, come on, let's go! Down to Courts, that's where it's going down. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 Newscast. I'm Caleb Barrage. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, along with the Nevis Island Administration, gathered on Tuesday for the launch of the Federal Youth Policy Initiative during a press conference held at the Ocean Terrace Inn conference room. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Honorable Sean Richards, opened the discussion by noting what the launch of the youth policy can provide to the Federation.
We have heard the request of our young people for more attention, more involvement, more opportunity, and more action. Today, we are responding to these calls, and we are bringing to everyone's attention and creating an awareness of our Federal Youth Policy Initiative, which will seek to achieve the finalization of the existing draft National Youth Policy.
Minister of Youth on Nevis, Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, explained the importance of launching the Federal Youth Policy Initiative.
The importance of the youth policy necessitates that meticulous and efficient steps are taken to the creation of the document. This means that youth policies should be sound, and I say very sound, documents. A sound youth policy is evidence-based. A sound youth policy is inclusive. A sound youth policy is youth-driven. A sound youth policy reflects the needs, the dreams, and aspirations of our youth.
During her presentation, Commonwealth Youth Consultant Ms. Dwinette Eversley congratulated the government of St. Kitts and Nevis on the launch.
I congratulate the government on its dedication and its commitment to achieving this policy and the strategic action agenda. Because when we say it consolidates all initiatives, we begin immediately to understand that we are establishing a blueprint for cross-sectional cooperation, for more accountability in the management of scarce human and financial resources, so that what we do everywhere for young people can be measured and we can see the success outcomes.
Ministry officials, media representatives, and guests present were then given the opportunity to address the panel with ideas or concerns. The conference was chaired by Special Advisor to the Ministry of Youth, Mr. Vernon Connor. In the wake of the devastating effects of Hurricane Matthew on Haiti, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies has launched an emergency response operation. Locally, the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Red Cross Society, Spencer Hanley, in an address is encouraging citizens and residents to donate cash in efforts to assist the people of Haiti with vital services, including food, shelter, water, and sanitation assistance.
St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society is launching an appeal to the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis for cash contributions to aid the victims of this disaster. Contributions to this fund should be deposited to account number 1281318 at First Caribbean Bank, the Circus Bastille, or Main Street, Charlestown. Please note, the proceeds will be forwarded to the IFRC in collaboration with other Red Cross appeals taking place simultaneously in many countries across the globe.
According to Mr. Spencer, physical donations such as clothing and food are not being accepted at this time due to the absence of sorting facilities, storage, and adequate transportation. The St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service joined the rest of the world on October 9th to observe World Post Day 2016 under the theme Innovation, Integration, and Inclusion. In commemoration of the day, officials at the General Post Office rolled out a list of activities aimed at sensitizing the general public on the workings of the institution. The Honorable Ian Patches Liburd, Minister of Post, in an address to commemorate World Post Day, spoke of the opportunities available to the Federation's Postal Service.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service therefore has the opportunity to expand beyond its traditional core services and seek to take advantage by embracing new technologies due to the development of new information and communication technologies, ICTs, and the rapid expansion of e-commerce as customer expectations, needs, and tastes are changing.
Minister Liburd noted that the St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service is on the right track to improving its standards and delivery.
As e-commerce grows, the St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service has been positioning itself as the delivery service of choice for goods ordered online. The recent introduction of its U.S. mailbox service, GPO Pack, is an indication of the St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service positive reaction to the increased goods ordered online and consequently its customers' needs.
Activities for World Post Day week of activities include Customer Appreciation Day, Staff Appreciation Day, a Health Day, as well as donations to the St. Christopher Children's Home and distribution of food hampers to older persons in various communities. After the break, National Carnival Queen donates school supplies to Beach Allen Primary School. We'll tell you more when we come back. The reigning National Carnival Queen, Angel Erskine, donated school supplies to students of the Beach Allen Primary School during a handing over ceremony on Monday. A number of students and teachers gathered at the school to witness the handing over of the school supplies. Miss Erskine, while addressing the students, advised them to cherish the school supplies.
I attended the Beach Allen Primary School way back then. I'm only 24, so you can do the maths. And as part of my reign, I have decided to give back to my alma mater, which I have been doing so throughout the whole year. You have been seeing me a lot. This is just my final distribution to Beach Allen before my reign ends. And those 75 students, I want you to take good care of these extra school supplies. They're only additional for you, so take good care of them.
The reigning National Queen donated a number of trophies to the Beach Allen Primary School earlier this year and was also seen occasionally reading to students on separate visits. Principal of the Beach Allen Primary School, Mr. Virgil Jeffers, assisted the National Carnival Queen with the distribution of the school supply packages. The packages were made up of notebooks, pencils, pens, erasers, and other stationery. A total of 75 students received the school supply packages. In an effort to strengthen cooperative interest in maintaining a high standard of agriculture and other agro-products on the northeastern side of the island, the Lamega Agricultural Cooperative Society Limited, LACOS, has resumed regular meetings. With the introduction of fencing and a simple approach to an irrigation system, the co-op is poised to strengthen its functions within the agricultural sector. The future of the co-op includes steps towards organic farming and the establishment of its own farmers' depot to advance post-harvest activities of grading, packaging, and distribution in an effort to better serve all sectors of the society. The LACOS was first introduced to the area in the late 1990s and has a membership of approximately 25 agricultural and livestock farmers, as well as agro-processors. Coming up, Haitians desperate for aid after Hurricane Matthew. The details when we come back. United Nations says nearly 1.5 million people in Haiti are in urgent need of assistance after Hurricane Matthew caused catastrophic damage in the Caribbean nation. The death toll has now surpassed 1,000, with fears of a potential cholera outbreak adding to the disaster. Here's more.
After a week, finally a U.S. helicopter carrying aid. Dame-Marie has been waiting for help since the hurricane hit this part of southern Haiti.
I feel good that some aid is coming. We were desperate.
But it was not what everyone expected. Another disappointment in the long wait for water and food.
I'm encouraging the local government to spread the word, and I've just shown them that this is toothpaste and toilet paper and soap, nothing edible, and that we're still waiting for the appropriate food and water for the town.
Dame-Marie's mayor told us his people are desperate, he's angry, and so are many of those living here.
The hurricane left this town devastated. It is very difficult for people here. They need a lot of things. We haven't received any aid from the Haitian government or international organizations. I don't know what they are doing.
He took us to the hospital, and again, just like everywhere else in southern Haiti, there is a shortage of almost everything.
This is the only hospital for over 40,000 people, and as you can see, most of the shelves are empty. There are no supplies here. This is crucial for treating cholera, and obviously there's not enough.
We met Similien, whose son is suspected of having cholera. The risk of an outbreak are huge.
Around 2 a.m. he started vomiting, and I was scared, and I brought him here. The doctor told us that it could be cholera. That's when they started to treat him.
We found similar situations over and over again. Haiti's weakened infrastructure made worse by the damage caused by the hurricane. Outside the main towns, people are trying to prepare for the worst. They're picking up what has survived the hurricane. Their crops have been destroyed. The risks of hunger enormous.
I have to get this from the mud, but we have to rescue what we can. I have lost everything, including our crops.
Even though international aid has started to arrive in Haiti, some vast areas have not seen any of it. No one here wants a repeat of past mistakes. After the earthquake in 2010, critics say aid distribution was filled with corruption and mismanagement. People here wait desperately for help. For some, it never seems to arrive. Teresa Wo, Al Jazeera, Dame-Marie, Haiti.
Coming up, new young political leaders seek change in Hong Kong. The details when we return. Hello and welcome to Upfront. I'm Carla Barrage, and in the studios with me is James Bradshaw of District 7 and Earl Clark of District 1, and they are here in relation to the International Day for Disaster Reduction being hosted by NEMA. Okay, hello and welcome to Upfront.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's a joy or pleasure to be here.
Okay. Now, in speaking about preparation, Mr. Clark, it's important to have volunteers.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about volunteering.
Well, what we are doing in East Bastille, is our #1 district, is to encourage people to come and join us. We have had 1 or 2 meetings which were poorly attended, and we want people to come and volunteer their service because we do not know when disaster is going to strike. Yeah. Right there in East Bastille, especially around the Newtown area, we have the petroleum place there, and that can blow up at any time, and Newtown is situated right near to the sea, yeah. And we can have tsunamis, we can have rough seas, and people's homes could be threatened. So what we are doing, we are trying to hold meetings to educate people, and we are sending out feelers to other people to encourage them to become volunteers, because we cannot exist without volunteers, and we cannot live to tell if we don't have volunteers to help us in the preparation so that people could survive any disaster.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bradshaw, what are some of the things that you are doing in District 7?
In District 7, what we are doing and will continue to do is to try to recruit more persons to become members. One of our plan is to meet with the clubs within the community, and there to talk to them, give them some education, and also have them fill out this special application that we have. Now, this special application allows us to capture quite a bit of information relative to the skill set of each person, so that in the event of a disaster, whatever kind, we know who we can call on, because we would have had this information in our database already.
Okay, that sounds
so
good.
we are appealing to especially young persons, you know, who are mature and responsible, who can become like shelter managers. That is, people who, when we have like a hurricane and people have to go to a shelter, they will manage the shelter.
Okay.
And so we're looking for people like that, and they would like the volunteers to know that they will be trained.
Okay.
We don't just take you and put you in a place without training you. So the opportunity for training, for developing, and for expanding your whole repertoire of knowledge and skill set is there by becoming a volunteer. And also you'll be serving your community and humanity on the whole, which gives quite a lot of pleasure. Okay?
Okay, now as we wrap up, Mr. Clark, I'll give you the opportunity to encourage persons to become volunteers.
Yes, you know, it is a joy in service to your fellow men. And, you know, coming out and assisting, especially when disaster threatens, you know, would limit the loss of lives. But we need people to man certain areas. We have many shelters in the number 1 district. And the number 1 district extends from 4th Street and Victoria Road right down to the Southeast Peninsula. And that is a very wide area. And you know, if we are only centered with people from the Bastille area, you know, we would be unable to cope in case there is a disaster. So we are encouraging people to come out and join the number 1 district, so that in case of disaster we can minimize the disastrous effects.
Okay, I want to thank you both so much for coming and speaking with us on Upfront.
Thank you very much.
All right. This has been Upfront. I'm Carla Barrett, and I've been speaking with Earl Clark and James Bradshaw about International Day for Disaster Reduction. Stay tuned, more news after this.
Can you afford to lose everything? In times of uncertainty, ensure you have the security of Quartz Payment Protection. When you shop with Quartz Ready Finance Gold or Ultimate Plan, if you lose your job after 6 months of making payments, our redundancy coverage ensures that the payment on your account continues for up to 12 months. Don't risk losing everything. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get the payment protection plan that protects you against redundancy, disability, death, and loss of item due to natural disaster, fire, flood, or theft. Quartz Ready Finance with payment protection. Quartz, bringing value home.
Hong Kong's parliament is welcoming a new breed of young pro-democracy politicians at its first meeting since last month's elections. They gained massive support following the Occupy protest 2 years ago and have promised to fight for more autonomy from China. More in this report.
He was one of the most recognisable faces in Hong Kong's pro-democracy protests. Now Nathan Law is preparing to take office as the youngest politician to be elected to the city's Legislative Council.
We've been through a very great journey actually, but it's just my vocation to devote myself to the Hong Kong society.
His political party, Demosisto, campaigned for Hong Kong to have a choice in how it's governed beyond 2047, the year the one country, two systems policy expires. While he's not a supporter of independence from China, he thinks the people of Hong Kong should have the right to debate the issue.
I do believe that if we are going to have a referendum, then these options should be considered by the voters.
He's one of a record number of new localist and pro-democracy members to be sworn in to the city's Legislative Council. Most campaigned on local issues and greater autonomy for Hong Kong, but they also rode the growing wave of anti-China sentiment. This new group of politicians has the potential to reshape Hong Kong's political landscape. Their supporters say they offer hope of a fresh agenda. But Chinese government leaders say if these newly elected politicians raise the issue of independence from China inside or outside of the Legislative Council building, they could lose their seat. Some political analysts say that threat from China is unhelpful and will only exacerbate existing divisions in Hong Kong.
If the government really trying to do this by force or by the executive power, I think local people will be quite angry about that.
Holden Chow is one of the new star recruits in the pro-Beijing party. He says the issue of Hong Kong's independence is unrealistic and newly elected pro-democracy politicians must respect China's basic law.
If you carry on or insist on advocating independence within the legislative chamber, then I think mostly people would believe that this is not an appropriate thing to do.
It seems the battle lines are drawn, with Hong Kong on the path to hit more political turbulence ahead. Sarah Clark, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
Up next in sports, appointment of captain and vice-captain of the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, and Ken Boone offered MLB playoff tickets. Stay tuned. The Leeward Cricket Board of Directors has announced the appointment of a new captain and vice-captain for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes cricket team for the upcoming Digicel Sportsmax PCL Regional 4-day competition. Director of Cricket Operations for the Leeward Islands Cricket Board Limited, Vernon Springer, spoke with ZIZ about the appointment.
The Leeward Islands Cricket Board Directors over the past weekend approved the nomination by the Leeward Islands Cricket Board selectors and have appointed Kyron Powell and Rakim Cornwall as captain and vice-captain for the Digicel Sportsmax PCL Regional 4-day competition, which will start in November 2016 and run until 2017.
He spoke of what this means for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes cricket team.
That's really major good news for both Cornwall and Powell, who are away on West Indies A-team duties in Sri Lanka. So, good things happening for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes.
Director of Cricket Operations for the Leeward Islands Cricket Board Limited, Vernon Springer. Red Sox pitcher Joe Kelly has identified Ken Boone, the breakout star of Sunday night's second presidential debate, as a man deserving of his adoration. Kelly also offered Boone MLB playoff tickets. Here's more.
On Monday, Red Sox pitcher Joe Kelly took to Twitter to offer presidential debate audience member Ken Boone a pair of tickets to Monday night's Game 3 showdown between Boston and Cleveland, using the hashtag #KenBoneIsMyHomie, if he can get to Fenway Park in time. On Sunday night, Boone, an undecided voter from Missouri, asked Donald Trump and Clinton about the country's energy needs during a particularly nasty 90-minute town hall event. Sporting a mustache and a vibrant red sweater, Bone's look and substantial question became the perfect combination for viewers reacting on social media, and within minutes, his name was trending on Twitter.
England captain Wayne Rooney has been dropped from the starting lineup for Tuesday's World Cup qualifier against Slovenia. The 30-year-old Rooney was deployed in midfield in Saturday's win against Malta when he was booed by sections of the Wembley Stadium crowd. Here's more.
30-year-old Wayne Rooney has been dropped from the starting lineup by England's interim manager Gareth Southgate for Tuesday's World Cup qualifier against Slovenia, the first time the country's leading goal scorer has been left out of the starting lineup since the final group game of Euro 2016. Rooney has only one goal in 12 appearances for Manchester United and England this season, and his recent performances have come under scrutiny. In a press conference Monday, Rooney said, "I understand and respect the manager's decision. I'll support the players 100% and try and help the players get the points tomorrow."
When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. Recapping the top stories, Federal Youth Policy Initiative launched, the Red Cross Society appeals for donations to assist Haiti, and St. Kitts and Nevis Postal Service observes World Post Day with a week of activities. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage. Goodbye.